The season variation depends on the place you are. If you are around equator, season variation is very little. You just experience two seasons, the rain season and the dry season. Day length and night length are almost the same throughout the year. The farther you go from equator, the bigger the difference you experience. In mid-latitudes, you experience four seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. In polar regions, the season variation is too extreme. In Helsinki, Finland, you experience 18.5 hours of daylight in mid-June, while in mid-December, you experience daylight for less than 6 hours. The season variation is even worse in Barrow, Alaska. You experience the daylight from mid-May to early August. Just 3 months daylight long. Just imagine. And the city is in night from mid-November to January, about 2 months night long. The typical fall seasons are common in Europe, North America, South America, and Australia. Spring begins in vernal equinox, March 20 or March 21. It is spring equinox. Flowers bloom and trees begin to grow and reproduce. The days grow longer and the temperature in most areas become more temperate. The ancient Western civilizations consider this as the beginning of the new year. They celebrated to mark the new year. All this happened because the northern hemisphere starts to tilt towards the sun from 0 degrees to 23.5 degrees. When the tilt gets at its highest degree, it is June 20 or June 21. This is the summer solstice. Summer begins at the earth getting back to the equinox. The days become long, warm and hot. It's the time for vacation, swimming, sunbathing in the north. On September 22 or September 23, the northern hemisphere reaches the autumnal equinox. Fall or autumn, if you like, begins. As the northern hemisphere moves to the winter solstice, the temperature falls, the tree leaves fall, and the length of days gets shorter. On December 21 or December 22, the northern hemisphere reaches the winter solstice. Winter begins. It is the season you experience shortest days in the year, called the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, so it receives very little sunshine. Waters freeze and snow is everywhere. It is the perfect time for sports like snowboarding, ski riding, ice skating, and much more. The seasons in the southern hemisphere are opposite to those of the northern hemisphere. When it is spring in the northern hemisphere, it is autumn in the southern hemisphere. When it is summer in the northern hemisphere, it is winter in the southern hemisphere. When it is autumn in the northern hemisphere, it is spring in the southern hemisphere. And when it is winter in the northern hemisphere, it is summer in the southern hemisphere. Thank you.